Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Kisha Nabila Abdi Prabowo with name E1B024008. In this video, I will explain about introduction to BPK, history of BPK, focus of BPK. Introduction BPK, the Audit Board of Indonesia is a state institution whose main task is to audit the management and accountability of state finance. The BPK plays an important role in ensuring that state finance are managed transparently, accountably, and in according with applicable laws and regulations. The history of the BPK began with the mandate of Article 23, verse 5 of the 1945 Constitution, which stipulates the establishment of the audit board to audit the state finance responsibilities based on this mandate. Government Decree No. 11 OM was issued on December 28, 1946, and the BPK began working on January 1, 1947 with a temporary position in Magelang. Initially, the BPK only had 9 employees with R. Surasno as the first chairman. BPK focused in constitutional law in the context of constitutional law. BPK has a strategic role as an independent state financial supervisory institution. BPK is tasked with auditing the management and accountability of state finance at both the central and regional levels. And the result of its spirits are submitted directly to the House of Representatives DPR. This confirms BPK's position as a part of the checks and balance system Indonesian governments. In addition, in the amendments to the 1945 Constitution, provision regarding BPK were developed in a separate chapter, Chapter 8A, which regulates in more detail that is authorities and position of BPK. This strengthens the essence of BPK as a state institution that plays an important role in constitutional state financial supervision. Thank you.
Introduce myself. My name is Arandita Memariliani, study number E1B024003. Here I will explain the function, authorities, and composition of the Audit Board of Indonesia. The main function of Audit Board of Indonesia is to audit the management and accountability of state finance in all institutions that utilize state budget, including the central and regional government, state-owned enterprises, and regional-owned enterprises. In general, Audit Board of Indonesian function include 1. Financial audit, assessing the fairness of government financial statement. 2. Performance audit, evaluating the efficiency, effectiveness, and economy of program or activities. 3. Audit with specific purpose, conducting investigative audit or audits upon request as needed. BPK has the authority to audit state financial management, determine and conduct audit, and prepare audit report. It can request data from relevant parties, provide opinion on government financial statement, follow up finding indicating state losses, and submit audit result to DPR, DPD, and DPRD. BPK consists of 9 members, 1 chair, 1 vice chair, and 7 members. They are elected by the House of Representatives with consideration from the Regional Representative Council and appointed by the President. Requirement include being an Indonesian citizen, having integrity and faith in God, loyalty to Pancasila and the Constitution, a minimum of a bachelor degree, at least 10 years of experience in finance or law, and not serving as a political party official.
So, for the next is structure. Organizational structure of the Audit Board of Indonesia, or BPK. The following is the organizational structure of BPK as outlined in the Regulation of the Audit Board of the Republic of Indonesia Number 1 of 2023, concerning the organization and work procedures of BPK. Implementing units, there are 1. Office of the Secretary General, 2. Office of the Inspector General, 3. Agency for Planning, Evaluation, and Policy of State Financial Audit, 4. Agency for Legal Development of State Financial Audit, 5. Agency for Education and Training in State Financial Audit, 6. Directorate General of State Financial Audit 1, 7. Directorate General of State Financial Audit 2, 8. Directorate General of State Financial Audit 3, 9. Directorate General of State Financial Audit 4, 10. Directorate General of State Financial Audit 5, 11. Directorate General of State Financial Audit 6, 12. Directorate General of State Financial Audit 7, 13. Directorate General of Audit 8 and International Affairs, 14. Directorate General of Investigative Audits, 15. Expert Staff for Central Government Finance, 16. Expert Staff for Regional Government Finance, 17. Expert Staff for SUS, Regional-Owned Enterprises and other separated state or regional assets, 18. Expert Staff for Environmental Affairs and Sustainable Development, 19. Expert Staff for Investigative Matters, 20. Functional Position Group. Now we move to point number 8 is BPK's relationship with the President. One of the most important changes in the amendment to the 1945 Constitution related to BPK was the addition of the words independent and free. But why are independence and freedom so important for BPK? This emphasis is important because in the past, previous governments often tried to control BPK's role and limit its authority. As a result, BPK couldn't fully carry out its duty to audit the management and accountability of state finances. If BPK were under the control of the president, its ability to audit how the government managed state finance would be limited. A body controlled by the president can really be independent when it's supposed to audit the president's own administrative. On the other hand, BPK is also not a body that stands above the government. It is a separate institution, independent from the executive branch. There is no superior subordinate relationship between BPK and the president. BPK members are selected by and accountable to the parliament or DPR, and BPK works closely with other state institutions in the system of the government. It reports the results of financial audits to the DPR and DPD, and also collaborates with law enforcement agencies when financial violations are found. In addition, BPK coordinates with non-ministerial government bodies like BPKP in overseeing state finances. Now is the last point, which is term of office and BPK's meetings. Previously, BPK member Rizal Jalil, along with his legal counsel Irman Putrasidin and team, filed a judicial review of Article 5, Paragraph 1, Phrase 4 one term only of Law Number 15 of 2006. The article states BPK members serve a 5-year term and may be re-elected for one more term. The applicant argued that the restriction on the president's term, limited to 2 terms, is meant to prevent power from being concentrated in one person's hands. However, BPK is not a single-person institution. It is made up of 9 members who work collectively as per Article 4, Paragraph 1 of the BPK law, and doesn't have executive power of the military, law enforcement, or natural resource economy. In Constitutional Court Decision number 108, the court ruled that the president term limits shouldn't be applied in the same way to members of the DPR and DPRD because their roles are different. The president is a single executive with full government authority, so term limits are necessary to prevent abuse of power. Meanwhile, DPR and DPRD members work collectively, making it unlikely for one person to act arbitrarily. A. BPK meetings. BPK meetings are held periodically and based on need to make strategic decisions. Unlike the DPR or DPD, BPK doesn't have fixed session periods. Meetings are held according to the institution agenda and priorities. Type of BPK's meeting. 1. BPK's member meeting, held to elect the chair and vice chair of the BPK and assign role and responsibilities to members. For example, on October 17, 2024, 5 newly elected BPK members took their oath. On October 18, 2024, they held a meeting to elect the chair and vice chair. 2. BPK plenary meeting, used for decision-making related to the duties on authority of BPK. At least 6 members must attend and the meeting is led by the chair or vice chair. Decisions are made by consensus or by voting if consensus cannot be reached. The next is election of BPK chair and vice chair. After the new members are sworn in, a meeting is held to elect the chair and vice chair. For instance, on October 21, 2024, a meeting was held and Agung Firman Sampurna was chosen as chair with Agus Joko Pramono as vice chair. So the conclusion is BPK's meetings are held as needed and are not bound by fixed period. Each meeting has a specific agenda based on BPK's duties and responsibilities.